at the 150th anniversary Golden Spike ceremony. Visitors got to learn more about the people who were marginalized in the rush to connect East and West. And if you heard the horror stories about how Chinese rail workers were treated, wait till you hear what it was like for the Chinese women.
One of the important stories of this event today is the personal stories, because we don't want to celebrate a locomotives, we want to celebrate the people.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm here today, the reason you have some descendants here is not only was there a railroad worker, but there was a railroad worker's wife.
Yeah.
You had to find a woman, and the truth is there were almost no Chinese women in America at the time.
Wow.
And that had to do with this Chinese Exclusion Act, said they couldn't come. The ratio of men to women, Chinese descent, was 20-1. So if you talk to people here, most of these railroad workers went home. The ones who wanted to stay to start families had to find a wife. In my case, and in fact many of the cases, my great-grandmother was brought here as a child slave. She was 9 years old and she was thrown into the hold of a ship, sold by her family. She traveled alone to a country that was foreign and didn't speak the language. She ended up being a servant, Mui Sai they called them, to a family on Jackson Street, and they horribly abused her. They beat her, they burned her, but this little girl was a pistol. She wouldn't quit, she never gave up, and eventually, with the help of the railroad worker, this is the great part of the story, with the help of the railroad worker, she was able to escape. They sent a letter to this rescue mission the Presbyterians ran, and they were able to facilitate an escape, and she went to live with maybe 39 or 40 other girls who had also been rescued from lives of prostitution or child slavery.
Wow.
And without that pivotal moment, without that event, I wouldn't be here. My other siblings and other descendants wouldn't be here. And one thing changed everything. But it was the spirit of these women, I believe, that we need to understand and recognize.
Yeah, that's something we probably don't think about a lot, is you have all these Chinese men, where are the women?
Yeah, the guys built the railroad, right?
Yeah.
And it's a powerful story. But the real pillars of strength in these families were these young girls who survived horrible lives and never gave up. They never quit, and she never quit. She ended up wanting to marry this man, Hung Lai Wo. They had met, as I said, before she was rescued. But the missionaries had a different agenda. They said, we want him to be Christian. And it was quite clear he was not a Christian, he was a railroad worker. So after about 3 years, she said, I've had enough of this. I'm out of here. So she ran off. She eloped, she escaped. She married him by Chinese custom. And the amazing part of the story I haven't told you is that about 2 nights into their honeymoon, they're in their apartment and she's kidnapped.
What?
She's kidnapped by these Chinese Tong highbinders. They're like thugs. And their goal was to make her into a prostitute, to sell her, to get the money out of her. So this young girl is taken away by these thugs while her husband's out getting her some medicine or something. They take her into a laundry, they hold her in there, and the next day she manages to escape. This little girl jumps out of the window, she's running down the alley, and she manages to escape. She's befriended by a young boy, and he hides her out, and ultimately she's found by the police, who take her back, not to her husband, but back to the same missionary home that she'd run away from. So at that point, she enlists the help of her husband, who they go into the courts and they file this writ of habeas corpus. And the whole story at that point got picked up in the newspapers, which is why I know all this, because it's all in the San Francisco newspapers in 1889. And the courts had to decide whether to send her back to the missionaries or to free her to a life with her husband.
Wow.
And since I'm here, I guess you know how it turned out.
Wow.
Oh,
That's a great story.
It's the subject of a book I'd like to give you. It's a powerful story about how my family came to be American. And I think all of our families, including yours, has a story like this that we should all cherish and celebrate. And these stories are the power of America and the power of the people who came here.
Yeah.
People
Thank you.
You're welcome. I truly do hope you enjoy it, because it was a labor of love to make it, and it's my pleasure to present it to you.
That'll be a good read.
Oh yeah, and it's the amazing thing, it's all true. It's all in the newspapers, and the newspapers are in there, so.
Cool.
This video is inspired by our PBS series, Reconnecting Roots. Visit reconnectingroots.com to watch the full episodes or to check out our music and podcast. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe so we can keep making more. Thanks for watching.